If you were trying to give advice on how to get these cabinet officials selected and confirmed, not selected, but confirmed to the Trump team, how do you think that should be done from a strategic standpoint?
It's a good question. I think one of the biggest advantages we have is the fact that Democrats are still fighting amongst themselves, and that helps it, in people's minds. We already had, on the election night, we won the House, we won the Senate. Trump won the popular vote. He won even more than he did in 2016. You have all these factors together to kind of say Trump won. He gets, the chance to do what he wants. Yep. And also, I think it just helps that he lost power, but now he came back. He's got a second term. And if you couple that with Democrats being in disarray, and as a result, there's not nearly as much of a resistance coming out into existence yet, you just sort of create this. It's like the psychological environment matters a lot. And the psychological environment is Trump won. The people who are against Trump are like freaking out, and they're like, oh, we need to adapt our strategy. We might need to adapt our entire worldview about politics. All of that helps set up a situation where you can't be the Republican who steps in and says, actually, we're going to sabotage your cabinet and cause it to all be a mess. A lot of these guys, I think you observed it yesterday, Charlie, that the people who speak about, they're wary about this, they don't like to say it publicly. They don't want to be the guys stepping out. They want to try to sabotage anything they can before there's a vote, because you can't really be the guy who votes against it. So I think one of the strongest things Trump is doing is Trump has been saying, these are my picks. I'm not going to reconsider them. He said that about Gates just the other day, too. He's saying, we're going to make you vote on it up or down. And when you put the metaphorical gun to the head here, they're going to, I think a lot of them are going to knuckle under. A lot of these people are psychologically a bit weak. That's why they get browbeaten by the left so easily. But right now, the left is too disorganized to browbeat anyone. So we can browbeat them to stay on side. So I think aggressive posture, keep making the picks you want. Tell them they're going to have to vote on them. We're going to make you have to publicly vote up or down on every single one of these if we don't do the recess appointment approach, of course. And if you do that, I think a lot of these guys are just going to say, okay, you get your shot, because I think they'll capitulate, basically.
Yeah. So Tyler, what is your thoughts on this? Is it time to potentially entertain primaries of red state senators that don't represent their voters?
Oh man, Charlie, this is gonna be a really fun year, because it's gonna, who's gonna do most of the work for us is the senators themselves. So it's not gonna take a ton of convincing to get conservatives out of bed. And actually, I think it's very helpful ahead of the midterms, quite frankly, to have an energized base that are energized about something. And if we have some people, and I think it's going to be very few, so I totally agree with Blake. I think you're going to have a situation where you have a lot of people who fold because they talk big talk in the cafeteria at the Capitol, but once they're out on the floor, all of a sudden, we've seen some of this. We've seen some people completely turn 100% around, and I wish we had time to kind of go through some fond memories of people talking, tough talk against Trump, and then turning around and becoming, the biggest Trump fans because they got smacked across the face a few times by the grassroots. But the grassroots is going to serve up a hot plate of get the heck out of here to some of our senators and some of our deepest red states. And I don't know if we want to go into that or if we want to start, lobbing those bombs here yet. But there's some very clear places that are deep red territory, where President Trump won by not just double digits, but a wide margin, like 20, 30 points, where some of these people are having trouble realizing, who's in charge of the party right now. And it's very clearly Donald Trump.
Why is that? Why is it that some of the least conservative people are from the reddest states, Tyler? How does that
They're
happen?
not just the least conservative people, Charlie. They're some of the least popular people. And that's what's so mind-blowing is that you look at literally you can look at surveys and polls on people. Nobody likes these people. Quite literally, no one can pick them off the street. I won't say, again, I've told the story, kind of embarrassing, of this person, whoever this person was, but a statewide elected official walked right through their state fair. Nobody even recognized who that person was. These people are you cannot pick them up off the street. Nobody knows who they are unless they're standing on C-SPAN. And, I think that's part of the psychological, warfare that exists behind the scenes. And you talk about the psychology of all this is some of these people, live and die by their title and by the love that they receive from lobbyists. And that's pretty much it, because they get very little love from the public. The public doesn't like them. The party in a lot of cases doesn't like them. Look at, Cornyn in Texas getting booed off stage because of red flag laws, and other places like that where it's happening all the time. And so they've kind of just pivoted to their own little corner. And what happens is that you have the NRSC and other places that have a policy of defending incumbents, that spend money, that keep these people in place because literally no one knows who they are. So people just go, oh, I guess I'll just vote for the guy that has an R next to his name.